Okay, so go ahead and get your worksheet 25A out, and we're going to try to go through some of those proofs. So this is over doing proofs using angle, side, angle, so ASA, or angle, angle, side postulates. We're also going to be using the end, just kind of showing the corresponding parts of a congruent triangle are congruent, and I guess it doesn't have any of the amplified parallelogram theorem. So, and on this worksheet, but it will later in the other part of the lesson. Okay, so we're given, for the first problem, this figure ABCD. We are given some information about it, and we were told to prove that triangle ABD and triangle CBD are congruent. So the first statement, they already have some of this filled in, so I went ahead and put that up on the board, is that line segment AB is congruent to CB. So AB is congruent to CB. Well, we know that because it's given. So go ahead and establish our given statements. What else are we given? We're told that angle BAD is congruent to angle BCD, and that is also given. So BAD is congruent to BCD. So we have a line, a side, and we have an angle. So we just need one more angle. Okay. Lastly, we're given another piece of information, and that it is that DB, so line segment DB, bisects angle ABC. Now they went and told us that angle ABD is congruent to CBD. Why do we know that? Or what's the reasoning behind that? So we can say that these angles are congruent because of definition of a bisector. So bisects divides an angle into equal parts. And that's because DB bisects angle ABC. So now we have, well, that is an angle. So now we have an angle, side, angle. So we've used our angle, side, angle postulate, and we have proven that triangle ABD is congruent to triangle CBD. So we've proven what we said we were going to. And they have another question just to get us thinking. Can we say that line segment AD is congruent to line segment CD over here? We can. And the reason is because the corresponding parts of congruent triangles are congruent. So we've proven that these triangles are congruent to one another. These line segments are corresponding to each other, so we can say they are also congruent. Okay, let's go on to the next example. Just gonna have to erase that, a lot of writing. So we have a triangle, and it's bisected down the middle, and the triangle is called ABC with this line segment AD. Let me move this all over here. So we are given the line segment AD bisects angle BAC. We're also told that angle ABD is congruent to ACD, and we're told to prove that triangle ADB is congruent to triangle ADC. Okay, and then we have our statements and our reasons. Start number 9 and 10. Okay, so first of all, we've said that AD bisects BAC, and the angle ABD, so this angle, and ACD are congruent to one another. And we automatically know if this bisects this angle, that these angles are congruent to one another. So right out of the gate, they've told us that two angles are congruent. So we really just need another side to prove that they're congruent. Okay, so our first thing that we're going to say for angle 9, we're going to work on our givens. So angle ABD is congruent to angle ACD. And number 10 is, that is given. Number 11, we're given that line segment AD bisects angle BAC, and that is given. So that's already written on your paper, the given. Then we are told the angle BAD is congruent to angle CAD. Now the reason we can say that, so BAD up here, make sure you can see all that, is congruent to CAD. And that was because of the definition of a bisector. So when AD bisected that angle, then we can say that those angles are congruent. So, like I said, we're looking for our other side. And they give us a hint. It's going to be because of the reflexive property. So, the only line segment we can say is equal to itself that would be helpful here would be AD. So, for 13, you can say line segment AD is congruent to line segment AD because of the reflexive property. So we've developed an angle side. So angle side. So that's going to be our 15. And 14 would be, we've proven the triangles ADB and triangle ADC congruent because of angle side postulate. And then for 16, they ask, is line segment AB congruent to line segment AC? So that's line segment AB congruent to line segment AC. So we weren't really given any information about that. But because we just proved that these triangles are congruent to one another, those are corresponding parts. So we can say, yes, those are congruent to one another because corresponding parts of congruent triangles are congruent. And that is the end of that proof. Okay, I'm going to go on to the second page.